Hi, I'm Kisiah Cole, owner of Calming Soul's Massage, and this is Beyond the Field. From collegiate to professional to former athletes and the wellness providers that support them, we have conversations that don't always make it to the headlines. The conversations that impact them the most and the ones that impact their play and their lives. Beyond the Field is one that you don't want to miss if you're wanting to have a deep dive into recovery, to wellness, and how to support your body as a whole. Because what you do beyond the field matters just as much as what you do on it.
Hey, how you doing? Keandre Jones, 5-year NFL vet, played for the Cincinnati Bengals, Chicago Bears, and Washington Commanders. I'm a linebacker, originally from Maryland.
Anything in particular bothering you today?
So I had a hamstring pull with the Commanders.
Okay.
That's really how I ended up back in Cincinnati.
Okay.
Because I had pulled my hamstring, but that was my first sideline injury. Like, I've never been injured. Been hurt, but never been injured.
Okay.
So right hamstring.
Okay. And does that give you problems still?
No, I feel like I'm 100%. That's why I
Okay.
was like, I'm anxious to let the coaches and staff know I'm ready, I'm available, but we haven't got no calls, so I'm gonna stay ready though.
Okay. Okay. So are you a free agent right now?
Yeah, free
Okay,
agent basically.
Okay.
This deltoid, right deltoid, is just lost like nerve damage right here due to years of just hitting people. I play defense, so it happens.
Okay. So that's as far as you can go on both sides. Okay. Is there pain if you try to go further?
For this right one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Just remember to let me do all the work. Stay relaxed. If you feel like I'm going too far, let me know. If you feel like I'm not going far enough, let me know. So you played at Ohio State, right? In Maryland before going into the NFL. What was that transition like for you?
Playing at Ohio State and then going to back home to Maryland, it was an exciting time just because I promised myself that if this was the last time I was going to play football, where would I want to do it other than back home? So obviously leaving a program like Ohio State wasn't an easy decision, but the fact that I was going back home made it kind of a smooth transition.
Yeah. And what part of Maryland are you from?
I'm originally from Montgomery County,
Okay.
but I was born in PG County, so
Okay.
Prince George's.
Okay. Yeah, so a little fun fact about me, I was in the Army for 6 years.
Oh, my best friend in the Navy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I was out there. My job was in air defense. So I was on Andrews Air Force Base.
I was born there.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's a fun fact. Don't nobody know that.
So yeah, I was out there for like almost a year. Yeah. So very familiar with PG County.
That's what's up. You probably the first person I know that said Andrews Air Force Base.
Yeah. I don't think many people know what that is. Yeah. So what would you say like motivates you? What has your why changed since childhood?
I believe my why has been consistent throughout my whole life. It's always been my mother, just raising 3 kids by herself. Naturally, you start to pick up on certain tendencies that she displayed, making sure that we had everything we needed. So it made my job easy. All I had to do was go play football. And really, football was kind of like that distraction away from whatever was going on at the time as a child that I felt like was a struggle, but looking back, it really wasn't. It was just life gonna throw a lot of different things at you.
Did you play football like real young growing up, or did you just,
Yeah, so I started playing football at 10 years old.
Okay.
And it probably saved me from a lot of other trouble because I was getting in so much trouble before then.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my mom felt like I needed that structure and that environment, which I agree.
Yeah. So being undrafted and, fighting for roster spots, what would you say has kept you motivated and moving forward?
My motivation really just comes from my why. Like I said, seeing my mother not make any excuses and provide for us and make sure that we had everything we needed. It's kind of easy for me to, like I said, all I'm doing is playing football. I was blessed and gifted with the talent, so I just used that to my advantage. Really wasn't any external outside motivations other than like seeing my mom live in the flesh. So.
So having like experienced some releases, and I know you mentioned your hamstring injury. How did that impact your identity, if at all, as a player?
When I first got released, you're kind of shocked, especially being an undrafted free agent. You already know the road ahead of you is going to be a lot more challenging than somebody that's a first round picked or drafted. So your room for mistakes is limited. But I would say life prepared me for the losses or the challenges I went through in the NFL being released, because I got released 5 times in NFL, but somehow I squeaked out 5 years and got vested. So it's a kudos to just what I went through with life, like losing family members, losing friends.
So it was a little bit tighter.
Oh, heck yeah.
So you started your mentorship initiative, everyday episode.
Yeah.
How did your own challenges fuel that?
With everyday episode, it happened during 2020 during COVID when everything was on pause. And at the time I already was journaling, and I decided just to write down what I was feeling in the moment. And everyday episode naturally just came to my head because every day we experience some new challenge or some different experience that shapes us. And fast forward to my time at the Bengals, I was always volunteering against like gun violence, against social justice issues in the world. And I had recently lost my little sister to gun violence during our Super Bowl run. So losing her and then 2 more of my close friends kind of really impacted that initiative of leaving something behind that was bigger than myself. And remembering the people that came before me and that's going to come after me. So when I talk about everyday episode, it's really telling my story through my own lenses, leveraging my platform and using my voice a lot more to show kids you can be more than just an athlete or entertainer.
What helped you get through those moments of losing your sister and other people that were close to you?
I'm big on community. I think when all else fails and, sometimes being in solitude is needed, but also you have to be self-aware, to surround yourself with individuals who may be experiencing the same difficulties that you went through with losing individuals. I don't think you get through life by yourself. I know for me, it's a village of folks who've helped me get in the position I am today. So I think people need to rely on community when it really starts to affect your mental health or your well-being to where you can't even function. That's where you should pick up the phone, call that best friend or therapist, or go to that event, just surround yourself with good individuals.
Did you grow up seeing a lot of community, like your mother reaching out to different resources or family members reaching out to different resources, or when did that click for you that community was important?
Yeah, so with me, even though my mom was raising me, she actually gave me the opportunity to leverage my relationships. At the time of being 10 and 11, I had stayed with multiple families just to pursue football. So I kind of compare it to The Blind Side, if you've seen that movie. I was able to have these sleepovers and get driven to practice and get picked up. And she trusted that I was on my best behavior, which I was, or else I wasn't going to be able to play football. So I stayed with multiple families, going to private school, being able to make sure my mom didn't have to worry about just the stresses of managing 3 kids by herself.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that we're losing, but people also crave this community. And I don't know if COVID kind of impacted that, but people tend to isolate or tend to be a little more self-centered.
Yeah.
And then when things get rough, it's like they realize that they need people, but they haven't created that community that they need. But people really crave that. And I see that a lot. So I think that's important that people lean on those around them, and also being someone that you can be in someone's community as well, you know, because just as important to be someone that someone can call as well. So what lessons about adversity do you want young athletes to hear or to know?
What lessons about adversity do I want athletes to hear? No. I want really society just to understand that you're going to experience losses, you're going to go through trials and tribulations and a lot of unknown. But the best thing is to manage those emotions in a healthy manner and not blame others or run from your problems, because there's going to be things that just don't go your way. So we talk about the things that you can control and things that's out your control. And I feel like the most important thing you can is taking care of your mental, your mind. That's why I'm so big on the impact of Everyday Episode and making sure kids are aware that they're not on this journey alone. And I'm human. Even though I played professionally and went to college, I'm just as human as a kid that's coming up, because I went through similar experiences from being homeless to losing friends to death early. So just not to avoid or run from life. Oh yeah, that's one tight.
Just make sure you're still breathing all throughout. And again, if I need to come back on anything, just let me know.
It's like this hip part right here.
So can you talk a little bit about, you know, the components of Everyday an Episode and how those values that you're talking about, how you guys are teaching the kids?
Yeah, so our 3 pillars are our workshops, which we have 7 different workshops that range from finances to career development to team building, self-expression through art. And with those workshops, I actually get to bring in professionals from different backgrounds, from banking to professional artists or real estate experts. So I get to bring in the professionals, and I get to show representation from the male and women that we bring into the classroom that look like them, specifically for our African-American children. I feel like that's important to show that representation, to show that they can be in these different rooms and spaces and excel. So that's one of our pillars, is our workshops. The next is our year-long curriculum, focusing kind of like an extended version of the workshops, making sure we have more time to not only, you know, do these workshops weekly, but all year round. And then third is our camps and our events, which, like I mentioned, community is important to us. So we try to provide those spaces to where we could bring the whole community together.
And do you typically, when you come into the schools, are you continuing a relationship with the kids, or how does that work? Is there ongoing support?
Yeah, so that's the expectations is when we come into these schools, the staff and the students know that we're here as a resource, not only just for the students, but for the families. If I don't have the resources right away, I'm sure with my network, I can point them in the right direction. So I want to be that outlet, that person to provide those resources. And also it's up to the families and students to take what we're providing and leverage it. We definitely don't babysit or hold people's hands because that's not how life is. You gotta speak up. I gotta know that you want us to help, because not everybody wants to benefit from the things that you might, that you think is best for them. So because there's a lot of kids, I think the number one thing I've learned being in the space of mentorship and mental health is you can't save everybody. And you got to start with saving really yourself first.
And often just leading by example. And just, by that alone, people want to do better because they see how you're operating.
Yep.
What's been the most rewarding thing for you, or the most rewarding moment with Everyday Episode up until this point?
I think starting something from scratch. Something that started off as me just journaling, expressing myself, and then taking that initiative and actually not just talking about it, but showing actions and being in the classroom, physically being in the classroom, physically being in the community, and showing people like I'm not just talking about it, I'm actually doing it. I think a lot of the times as professional athletes, we don't use our platforms enough.
All right, in a sport where physicality is everything, how has recovery shaped your training habits?
I would say, I think you learn as you progress throughout your career and you find out what works best for you. So with recovery, I try to do everything from the stretching to the cupping to cold tubs, needling, anything that I can add to my routine to make me feel better. And I think it exceeds more than the physical aspect, right? Like it's the mental part too. I think a lot of athletes burn out mentally before they actually reach a certain status of becoming their best self when it comes to recovery. I think we focus a lot on the physical health so much. A lot of athletes skip out on that mental part.
Now, was recovery something that was instilled in you early on, or did you figure that out after your injury?
Yeah, I would say I was doing two-a-days when I was like in middle school.
Okay.
And we would have massage therapists, we would have the cold tubs. I'm not gonna lie. I knew I was going to the league just by how my routine and structure was. I was always training with older guys. I was around NFL talent. So that exposure early helped me make sure I was making the right decisions.
Yeah, that's rare. I, work with the athletic department at my University of Oxford. And so I work with all their student athletes, and these are college students that have been playing sports for years since they were kids, and they've never had any sort of recovery. And that's their first time at 19, 20 years old. So
that's insane.
I'm happy to hear that you were getting that early on, because that's definitely not common.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I was privileged. I went to a private school and then, attending Ohio State. You ain't got no choice.
Yeah.
But that early exposure, like doing the middle school workouts and the families that I was around, they had some wealth. So if their kids were doing it, I was right there doing it with.
Yeah. Oh, that's good though. What's one recovery habit you think many athletes overlook?
Yeah, I really think it's the one I'm talking about, the mental health piece, because it's like this fatigue that sets in, especially when you are transitioning from college to NFL. They say that first year is your longest year because you go through the college season, you go through senior bowls and draft week, and then training camps. And then don't let you make it all the way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's a long year. So a lot of guys burn out fatigue-wise or just give up mentally because they start to get burnt out.
And would you attribute you not burning out to your journaling and community, or?
Yeah, I think it goes back to me trying everything and not thinking something's not for me. Because how do you know if you never tried?
Yeah.
Like, go to a therapist. If a therapist isn't your thing, switch it up, try something different. So I think me journaling, ice tubs, stretching, taking mental health serious, like, it really contributes to my success.
Yeah.
Because I could have easily gave up.
Yeah.
Being an undrafted free agent, being released 4 to 5 times. And then, with the off the field issues, dealing with laws. Yeah, so.
All right. When you're facing uncertainty, like being released or rehabbing, how do you find peace and confidence?
For me, I just go back to my routine, what got me there, and not really thinking about or blocking out the noise, honestly. And I don't really get too much in my head. Like, I know how to prepare or how to bounce back because of like how we spoke about earlier with life. It's gonna be things that you're not prepared for, but you can control the way you respond by taking on rehab, aggressive, or going back to what that structure and that routine that got you here in the first place.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. What would you say has been the biggest, or what is the biggest mental shift athletes should make when approaching recovery and performance?
Athletes should just understand that it's a way to help with your performance, not only on the field, but it's being like proactive in a sense of knowing that you're trying to prepare yourself to not get injured. So, for example, me, I've always played hurt, but I've never been injured. So my first injury with my hamstring, that was kind of like a wake-up call. Maybe I was lacking in the area of recovery when I went back. Because after I got released, I think I spent about 7 months out of football. My 4th time getting a release. So even though I was training, I probably wasn't recovering the way I should have been.
In your opinion, why do you feel like pro athletes don't take recovery as serious?
Man, it could be a number of things. Just their lifestyle, listen to other people, taking things for granted. But it surely is an investment. I think that's the biggest thing to take away from it. Like, you're trying to stay on the field as long as or play as long as possible, healthy though. So I think a lot of us just probably take the moment for granted because when you're in college and high school, you have those trainers and stuff, but it's kind of like we're always getting our hand held, so they expect things to come their way. But you got to be real with yourself and make sure that you're doing things outside of just the facility.
Yeah. It's also interesting how you have some teams that prioritize things like massage therapy and recovery, and then some that don't. Do you feel like teams should be supporting their athletes more on that, or should it be more on the athletes to be seeking that out?
I think it works from both sides because the team is investing into their athlete, and then the athlete wants to perform so that they can do well for the team. So I think both sides have to understand they're in it as a collective because the goal is at the end of the day is to win. But if your star players are getting injured or you're not having systems in place to make sure that your players can succeed, that's an issue.
Yeah. What advice would you give to a college athlete that's coming up that, might be struggling with trying to figure out where they should go or what they should do? They might be dealing with an injury and not sure what the future might look like for them.
Yeah, I think with me experiencing being injured for the first time last year with my hamstring, I got to see that side of being sidelined and kind of, not you're with the team, but you're not really with the team because they're doing their own thing and you have to do the rehab. My advice for the athlete is make sure you still stay consistent with showing up as if you're about to play the next week. So don't really change up your routine just because, I'm injured. No, you can still watch film. You can still be around your teammates. Don't seclude yourself. Because it is easy to fall into that trap of, I'm not as important now because I can't perform. But also realizing that you are somebody who's still a part of the team. So it's a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's really not one set of words or anything I can really say, but just stay committed and trust the process. Cause it comes with the game. You bound to get injured. I just ended up getting injured my last year, which is unfortunate, but it comes with the game.
So I know earlier we talked about, community and reaching out to people. A lot of times, especially with athletes, like some people just have a lot of pride around that. So, someone feels kind of off or like they're struggling a little bit, but there's a little bit of pride there. What would you say to them to take that step to reach out if they're struggling?
Yeah, I think a lot of the times people know that they are going through troubled times and they try to fix it their own by themselves. But the best thing you can do is tell somebody that you're vulnerable with, somebody that you're comfortable with, so that you can get the proper help. Because a lot of the times, I know the kids are struggling in the classroom, and I'm not a professional, but they may feel more comfortable to say, "Hey, Key, can you help me in this area?" And I could provide assistance in getting them the right help. So going back to the athletes, like that's the same thing. Like talk to a family member, talk to a team doctor that you trust on staff, or even a coach to say, "Hey, this is what I'm going through. This is what I need help with." So you can get the proper care because that's going to affect your performance too.
Yeah. All right, hold your leg up for me. Hold it bent.
Like this one?
And then slowly lower it down. And bring it back up. All right, relax. I'll do the same thing on the other side. All right, hold this leg up and lower it down. And come up. So what's next for you in football or in life in general? And how does your experience with overcoming challenges guide you?
What's next for me? it's time to give back to the next generation and show them that you have to leverage your relationships, your network, start all the way back from high school to if you choose college and going out into the real world, because at the end of the day, there's very few people that actually care. So that's why I spoke on community. It's important to find those people who are associated with the same things that you're interested in or may have the skills that you're trying to acquire. So I'm really invested in what I'm doing in the community and building everyday episode so that we can have multiple professionals show up all around the country and show the kids is just way more to life than just entertainment, right? Like, it's about making this world better than how you found it.
Yeah, that's that shoulder.
Does this feel okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Do you go back to Maryland often?
I just went this past holiday.
Deep breath in and exhale. For Christmas?
Yep, for Christmas. And it was something nostalgic just about going back home, but also grieving the individuals that you grew up with and knowing that you gotta keep that love from afar. Just because as you get older, you experience life in a different way, and you outgrow certain things that you did when you was younger, which is fine. I think that would be some more advice for the young athletes. Sometimes it's good to leave home.